All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the season finale, episode 9, season 2 of Stranger Things.
Yes, sir.
Woo! What a ride.
What a ride, what a ride. What a season, what a season.
This show is amazing. It's one of the best shows on Netflix, by far. Season 2 is now, as it is closed, I can say, maybe better than season 1.
Oh, I'd say so, right?
The only thing that really tips season 1 in the lead is that that is what set up and gave me the love of these characters. And it's hard to ever break your first impression of people. Yeah,
I feel like it's hard for me to compare the two seasons because they're kind of different.
They are different, but like in awesome ways.
I feel like they draw from different influences of movies from back in that time period and stuff like that in ways that I like them both. Because season 1's more like E.T. and season 2 has more of other stuff or whatever, right? So, getting into it though, it picks up kind of where we left off. 11's there.
11 is
she
there.
has showed up, and the whole team's there, and we get to chatting. Yeah,
they find out that she's like, I contact you every day. She's like, I know. And you don't say anything? I wasn't allowed to. And then you see him punching Hop in the gut, you son of a bitch.
Hop's reaction of oh God, come on, kid, God. I was like, Harrison Ford, he was awesome. He's like, all right, we're doing this now. Okay, yep, let it out. Okay. Oh, now we're crying. Oh God, fuck, great. This is great. Fuck. Just because he had the whole thing of well, don't blame her, all right? She's upset enough as it is. He's protective still.
I don't blame her. I blame you.
They had a beautiful exchange. The first words, I think she's talking to Mike, and then Hop jumps into the conversation and says, "What is this? Where have you been?" And she goes, "Where have you been?" And then they just go hug each other. It's this cute, super oh, that's fucking perfect, right? Because there's a little bit of how could you? Nice thing. Was super great.
No, all the characters had nice little touching moments in this episode. Yeah. It's nice to see a season end in a spot where it's oh, things are actually pretty well resolved, pretty nice. People are together in more ways than one.
No, we developed a bunch of relationships, and we'll get to the end, I guess, at the end or whatever. Or do you want to do the end now? Or we're getting to the end?
I'm good with it. Whatever. We can continue linearly if we like.
I liked how she's you have teeth, and sticks her fingers in his mouth or whatever.
And he as if he hasn't been telling everybody how he has new teeth, was what? Oh yeah.
Well, he goes oh, these pearls, and Elle makes a face that's weird. Don't do that. I love this running gag, and then finally at the end, Steve's do not do that. And he finally gets it and is oh, okay. Because Steve's this cool older brother now to him, basically. But so then Maxine comes over hi, I'm Maxine, and then
just walks right past.
And gives her such the cold shoulder.
Oh, it's so good.
I was oh,
she doesn't even know she's being rude. It's so wonderful.
She's just I have nothing to say to this person. Oh, hi, oh, hi, Will's mom. What's up? And starts hugging other people right in front of her. I know. No, it's genius.
This show, more than any recently, makes me make noises aloud while watching it. I laughed out loud. I make noise. I exclaim. You give a little one of these.
I know. I made a reference to not since Doctor Who has the show really gotten me into stuff and made me feel things or do stuff.
That's got great writing.
Yeah, and I can't even. I want to have but this or something, but I don't even really have.
I have no buts.
I don't even have any buts.
No, it's just good.
And the Duffer Brothers haven't done anything else before. I think we checked or something, or if they have, it wasn't in anything notable.
I don't even remember looking.
No,
is it Duffer or Doofer? I've been saying Doofer.
Holy shit! I thought it was Duffer. Would Doofer be spelled differently?
I don't know. It's a name, so you can really do whatever you want.
I have to check these Germanic roots.
I don't think I've ever heard it said. I've just read it, and my first reading said Doofer.
No, and now this will be, for me, the floodgates of checking the rest of the internet stuff, so I'm sure I will hear other people pronounce it and feel either very dumb or not.
Oh, keep me posted.
But, no, whatever they're doing next, which we heard from you, is going to be more Stranger Things. But they're firmly on the list of anything that they do. I will want to check it out and something.
Oh, definitely.
Because this can't be an accident now. It's been 2 seasons. It's been a solid fucking thing. Fuck.
So, what did you think about the plan? The plan for solving this whole issue?
I loved everything about everything.
I wasn't exactly sold on it when they were talking about it.
Yeah.
Because I was all right, so the plan is you're going to get 11 there, 11's going to do it, and you're just going to have, the sheriff covering her. I'm like, that seems like that could be a mistake. And then it made me think about what exactly is 11's power. Because I'm like, could something sneak up on her?
I think so.
Or not? Because I'm like, and then I was like, well, have we seen things really surprise her or get scared or even like, misstep? And I'm like, not really. She's been pretty much a stone cold boss like all the time.
Right.
And that's like a huge thing, which is a bonus in this world of things that are just going bump in the night and popping out and doing their thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I guess she just keep being like pang, 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 and just like ripping people's necks apart and doing shit.
Yeah, I don't know if her powers include any like extrasensory perceptions in like the immediate.
At least not said.
Yeah,
it's
like
not
the
been
immediate
expressed.
vicinity. Yeah.
But then I was like, the sheriff didn't really go in with the crazy guns. He went in with 2 guns, and one of them ran out of ammo like really quickly.
Yeah,
he really wasn't much of a cover. If the side plan that was not even organized
was not even a plan at that
didn't
time,
happen,
right? Yeah.
they would have probably died.
No, I feel like it was like a process of elimination, and like there wasn't anyone else to go who was like, because like. When you're in like a pinch, right, and like shit's like fucked up, people can grab guns and grab bats and like do stuff.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, from like Hop's perspective, it's just a bunch of kids. There's women and children.
No, 100% yes.
I have to do the thing, right?
But like, I think you have to put the scope of the mission in mind. Is that if they fail, the world dies. There is only one person that they know of that can even seal this hole, and they have to make sure that even if they're just fodder in the way of her dying,
just stop her,
you need layers.
I agree with that.
I would have grabbed every able-bodied American, and I would have been like, no, we're going to go. One of you can go with Will, because it doesn't take an army of you to put him in like a hot bath, and then just go. It did end up taking more than one, like just by nature of how that shit worked out.
I was gonna say, like they wrote it that way, and like the idea. I see what you're saying.
I would have sent her brother Shirley. I've been like, "You're a guy. You're big. Come with me." I would have been like, "Steve, you're like seemingly borderly crippled, but get over here."
No. Like everyone had a plausible Like, I totally agree with you, but I think even in, like, our real lives, for, like, mundane things, people make inefficient and emotional choices.
Oh, certainly,
and, like,
but I would argue that the mundane, stupid, inefficient things are a lot different. Like, I feel like one person would have been like, no, this is the world, bruh. Like, we gotta go.
This is the world. No,
Bring those 6 kids. If they die, their lives are inconsequential in the grand scheme of the whole world falling to darkness.
I agree with that.
Because they'll die anyway.
I do not think that's how real people
No,
work.
It's seemingly not. I would have been the first screaming that, though.
I think everyone would have been like, oh, he's crazy. We can't bring children to, like, the place full of, like, deadly monsters.
You could have at least brought a couple of adults, like.
Yeah, and I wish there were more adults, because I feel like a lot of people just disappeared.
Yeah.
Like people at the police station, or like people.
I don't know how useful, like, but anyone, any port in the storm, like, could have called his deputies. Meet me at the lab.
No, I would have thought like have a posse or something, do something like that.
Something. It all worked out, so I'm not
totally
not too nitpicky. So we have them back at the cabin with Will.
I was going to say, so like the overall plan takes shape, right? And it even takes some convincing. It takes some back and forth here and there.
Yeah.
Why are you staying or something? I love Steve being like, I was a shitty boyfriend, but it turns out I'm one hell of a babysitter or whatever.
Yeah, and he honestly, he's great with the kids.
He's spent like a day now. And this, for some reason, gave me like a Goonies vibe or whatever.
Yes.
I got like a super, like, and like we'll talk about how that all turns out or whatever the fuck. But like as like the cars are like pulling out, and you just see like the porch, and it's like Steve there with like the bat, I think, still.
Yes.
And like the kids are like behind him, like, oh geez, like the plan's starting. It was this awesome moment of like, oh, that's great. But yeah, like Mike and 11 almost kiss before she leaves.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to lose you again.
That would have been very sad if one of them would have died, though, and
right?
they didn't get that last smooch.
I know, there's no kissy happening there, but she goes with Hop, and that gives them the chance to have like all this character building shit or whatever. And then like the family, and now Nancy, like she's like part of the family because she's dating Jonathan.
Yes.
And cares about Will, because now like they've like resolved the Barbara thing, so now like Will's the leftover thing from the previous trauma, and now she's like helping and like earning her way. It's kind of like a first Thanksgiving thing, but instead of helping to do the dishes, she's helping with like Will's exorcism, basically. Whatever the fuck.
And like I had this idea earlier on in the season where I was like, I think you could just do this and it would solve, and it turned out to be true.
I wanted to call that out. Is like, I think
you think they heard me and that's why they did this?
I do think so. No, because like the first scene with the bath, I think you were just like, well, what if you just shoved him in that bath? Would it be like, this is too hot, I have to leave? That's fine. Or I was like, okay, that makes total sense. and the writers of the show agree, and possibly put that in there on purpose earlier in like the thing.
Yeah,
because like super.
It
dope.
seemed like it was telegraphed, and it kind of was. I don't know, like if it was a blatantly obvious thing, because at the time we didn't even really know what was happening with him.
Well, and the rules are so weird with how they're connected,
exactly,
and we wouldn't know if it would just because nothing else has happened like that, where like an infection has left or like been gotten rid of by doing something to it. But
I compare it
the
best to like bot flies or something, where it's like cover the opening with Vaseline so there's no air, and then they have to come out or they'll die, or like worms like getting what are those things like the parasites that come out of your butt. I forget what that's.
Not tapeworm. Something.
Oh no, maybe it is a tapeworm.
Okay.
They like put you in a bathtub full of salt, and like it like slowly dehydrates and like has to like go out and then like pull it with tongs.
Oh, you're making my butt feel so weird.
Yeah, and it's like I think they're like feet long.
Oh no, like the record's like 40 feet or something.
Yeah, holy shit! Could you imagine? And I picture them being barbed.
Like
I don't know if they are.
That's like pulling a string through like your mouth and your nose or whatever, only like with your entire body. It's
and
disgusting.
your butt.
And your mouth and your butt.
So they set up a bunch of heaters. Like
I was gonna say,
the fucking
that one's the shortest, so we'll dive into that.
Yeah, the heaters are on. They have them set up there right on the bed, tied up with the fireplace going. Like, and she's like he starts to scream. She's like, "Bitch!" Kicks it on high. Like, "Oh, you killed Bob!"
They cut to her dancing with Bob on Halloween when he was like, "That's crazy. Maybe we should leave this town." Or that like that scene, and she's just like, "Fuck off."
A couple of times
my son.
like as a pet peeve of mine, I do hate whenever there's a flashback to something that happened in an episode, because it makes you believe there were no memories besides the ones you've already seen. I think if I were ever to do things that had like especially a big budget show, I'd film an extra scene with them dancing at like a restaurant or something. And I'd be like, okay, that's what we'll cut back to as a flashback. Okay. I think that adds so much value and substance if it's something you haven't seen already.
I think because it was so quick and they weren't going to use any audio. I think had it been like a longer flashback or like a dream, that would have been super money.
The only thing worse than this is when like somebody cuts back to security camera footage and it's just the footage from that episode, black and white,
and like granified or whatever.
No, but there's like zooms in it. It's like that's security footage. What is that? It changed angle. What the hell?
That at all? What the fuck?
Yeah,
I agree. He fucking starts choking his mom, and Nancy grabs the hot poker. The thing fucking finally leaves or whatever, and like it's like a physical thing. It like breaks the door.
Yeah, the way it left, I was like, huh, it could take over another person.
Yeah, like I kind of if this were not the last episode, I would have been afraid that it was going to take over one of the other people, or something.
Well, but this made me think for what season 3 could be, because we do see it looming in the Upside Down still. Good. Now, the part that went into Will, do you think that is any different in the way it took over all the Dogmegorgons or whatever? Like, did it just, it didn't, you don't think it just smoked them and was part of them? You think this was something different?
No, like, I think that,
like, was its possession of Will any different than the normal hive mind possessions of everything else?
I think that it was different, yes.
So then the smoke that is in him that transferred from one dimension to the other could potentially still be a part of him in that world, even though they sealed it and everything else died.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so it didn't, like, it, like, left through the front door, everyone's safe, or, like, whatever. I think if they'd had it go into, like, Jonathan or Nancy, it would have been too obvious or something like that.
Yeah.
But I do think season 3 could involve it out in the woods going into something else.
The science teacher.
Making its way. Oh.
It's in the science teacher.
It's been in the science teacher all along. Why would he have been out in the woods that night?
Yeah, it could have zipped forever.
All the way to his house.
It could pop out on the other side of the woods. It's his backyard. He's out there cooking hot dogs, talking to like Asian girlfriend, like, "Hey, what's up, dear? Do you want it?" Well, and then he just kills her.
Perfect.
I don't know. Foreshadowing.
I would love that.
Why do you think that's going to happen? I just think it's going to happen. No, that's obviously not it, because we see him later on, like at the dance, like hanging up, like
he's putting up a facade.
It would be great.
And that's how
it would be great if season 3 starts at the dance and it's just him.
And that's how it like knows where the dance is and where they all are and all that stuff. It's connected to the science teacher. We had to have science teacher do something. But
yeah, he really had a
slight disappointment
bit part this season.
Yeah. Now that I know that there's more seasons, any what any of what could have been complaints about this season kind of go away.
Sure.
Because, like, honestly, last season was 8 episodes, this one's 9, and, like, one of them felt out of place and, like, weird to me or something like that.
But we got the same amount as last year if you cut that one.
Yeah, I was going to say. And
it's just a bonus.
So, like, cutting that episode out, that, like, bonus episode, like you're saying, really, all we do is we, like, lose the ability to flash back to her talking to Callie, and we don't explain why she has hair like that. Like, there's no other loss for that episode. It's just this, like, standalone piece that was added to the show, not, like, it didn't, like, replace any other content that now we miss out on.
So that was fine.
Everything's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 11 and Hop go to the lab.
They go to the lab.
And he actually says, speaking of like her like hair, he says, "So we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to whatever." And she goes, "What?" And he goes, "Why do you look like some MTV punk?"
I thought at that moment he said, "So we're not going to talk about it." Was like, "You almost kissed that boy." I thought it was going to be that. I thought it was going to be like the daddy-daughter talk, but it was not, and it was fine. And he eventually comes out like, I actually kind of like it.
I kind of like it. It's whatever. And they go bitchin', and he doesn't say language. He says bitchin' or whatever back to her and stuff. And I was like,
because awesome. She's not saying bitch.
No, I know, but it's awesome. She's very young. She's super young.
That's fine.
They find Dr. Owens.
Yeah, so I'm glad that he's alive and stays alive. He does not die. He gets his tourniquet applied, and we see him at the end of the episode, so it means he did survive out of this. He does his work.
I was very suspicious.
That he would die?
I was very suspicious about his injuries and how he ended up there, but somehow isn't dead or whatever. Because these things, like, kill and eat people completely. So I was like, what the fuck is happening? How does he have, like, one little, like, wound or whatever the fuck? This is really weird to me. But it was fine. Turned out to be fine.
What were you thinking it was going to be?
I don't know.
He was actually evil?
That he was a trap or something, yeah. But then, like, as the scene unfolds and more dialogue happens, it's like, oh, it's not that. But when I first saw him there in, like, the stairwell, I'm like, uh-oh, or something.
It made me glad to know that he was a good guy after, like through and through to the end. He actually was a good guy.
Yeah, totally cool. So
that's nice.
And that was a cool thing that like the show was making us think he was not good, and I totally fell for it. And then as they like revealed him talking to his other lab coat dudes and like helping out more in like the group at the end, it's like he's totally redeemed. And like you're saying, he's going to be around, so he's going to be a thing.
Yes.
He'll not be working at that lab though, I guess, because they closed the lab down.
Yeah, so this just before I forget to make this point here. So 11 opened up this rift. That was her. It was still open from season 1, and it was growing and expanding, and that's what allowed the evil to come through. Now, even if the Zulu, the Cthulhu, mind flayer guy.
Yeah.
He didn't ever really open the portal. He just went through it and was spreading his vines of takeover.
Right.
So he potentially has no means of actually taking over this world without those portals. But if he does follow the Mind Flayer rules as posed in the D&D manual, he does go dimension to dimension somehow. So maybe he does have an ability to...
Right. I don't know if that was... if that was also being attributed to him or not or whatever.
You can never say if anything's canon because it's all just random shit that we're applying to things, trying to get any rules. And the show, I love when Dustin's like, it's just a game.
I'm sorry, no, it's just a game. Yeah, we kind of left that out of previous episode, right? Because Dustin has a lot of funny things where like, I wrote that whole quote down for like the previous notes where he was all like, oh no, we summoned an army of the undead because like zombies, they don't have brains, and like Mind Flayer's all about brains, and just, I'm sorry. No, fuck no. I don't know what to do. It was awesome. And like Dustin calls someone else out for correcting him about something, and then Hop in this episode calls Dustin out for like, is that really what's important right now? Like, what the fuck's wrong?
Yeah,
there was this awesome chain,
demi-dogs
or whatever. But that's great that like I don't know, things like that. I really, really, really like dialogue like that when someone's like, what the fuck? Who cares? Oh my god! And then later someone else to them because they're doing the exact same thing is like, what the fuck? Who cares? Oh my god! Or whatever. Like that's really, I like the symmetry of that. Where someone else, I forget what the correction was, but no, it's dope because like they're reading from that book like as if this is how we're going to defeat this actual monster.
Yeah.
And then someone has to make the point like this is a fucking game or whatever the fuck. No, stop it. And he goes, oh fuck.
It has been amazingly accurate though in a lot of ways about how things work and what they are.
And they do they use D&D and like related like fake stuff, whatever, to kind of like as like the metaphor analogy. That was
How
the
to make
thing.
something explainable.
Lucas says
Yeah.
it's an analogy, and he goes, "Really? You're gonna fucking shit on my point about that? Fuck you!" Like,
Yeah.
But like they're using it as a symbolic reference point to like how we talk about stuff. I think Demogorgon's from the same D&D
Yes.
thing, right? So that's just their names for those things.
Do you know what would be
And,
interesting is if in like a later season you find out the person who made the monster manual for Dungeons and Dragons
Was tapped into stuff.
is like either
Yeah.
he's psychic and can see these things, or he's a hunter of some sort, and like they end up like talking to him.
Yeah, I wonder if this builds, because they've kept that theme up, and I even was like picking up on it when like Callie's team called this is our warrior, this is our whatever, and stuff like that. Like the show has a very strong, maybe not exactly D&D, but like
They're Pathfinder people.
they're more of a Pathfinder people. Are they a version 4 or pre-version 4? Like something about that, like that's connected. That's like the lens through which the kids view the world, like in general. It's not just,
I would imagine that's how the doofers view the world, because they probably grew up playing this shit, and that's just them.
Exactly. But yeah, I could totally see, because of that, having like a meta thing get worked in at some point or something.
It could be very cool. Obviously, Vin Diesel will be in the next season.
Totes. He will just voice something. Some of that only grunts. No, yeah, the whole thing. So I don't remember. I'm glad you brought up the rift and like opening and closing or whatever the fuck, because it's fucking gigantic. You get to see.
Well, I think the crack grew over the year.
Yeah. No, I know. So like the crack can grow, but it can't. But they can't open like a new one. And that one from the school in the flashback still bothers me, because we didn't see her close it, right? And if she's the only thing that can close a rift, a gate, then like how does that work, or something like that, right? Because we had the one in the tree, and we had the one at the school, and then we have the one here. So I'm a little unclear about the rules and everything like that. But I'm okay.
I think they naturally, like when they're small, like the roots or water tangles, like kind of go over it, and you'd have to like consciously break free through it.
Yeah,
and maybe not everyone can see the hole as it exists. I don't know.
That's entirely. I don't know. I think I'm forgetting something, or something's like missing from my thing, because they had to have resolved those other holes somehow. Or if they didn't, then they're like intentionally left there for us to wonder, and like,
maybe
they're like ways in or something like that. Because that was like Elle's problem was, I see this hole, I can hear the soldiers. Oh, this goes back to like the school in like the real world, but I have to make it bigger first to like get through it or something like that. So it's a whole fucking thing. But yeah, the whole story, which I'd even forgotten, was that while she was training and like was in the void, she meets the Demogorgon by accident. She panics. The like crack starts, and that's like the hole into the other world. And then because she says, I opened this gate. It's my fault, or something like that. And she's carrying all that around with her too.
It is all her fault.
Yeah. But she thinks about Callie, she thinks about Papa, she like, that motivates her. It's like his voiceover saying there's something festering inside of you that you have to resolve, or it will kill you, and she's closing the gate that she opened in the first, before the first episode or whatever. It's a nice, compact thing.
Yeah, it closes remarkably quickly. I don't know what the general exchange rate for closing is, but that seemed like it went like without a hitch. I like how it was like coming through, and you're like, oh, is it gonna get her? Is it gonna get her? Is it gonna get her?
Oh yeah.
And
and like we can see the shadow monster right on the other side. Like you're holding up like an egg to like the light, and see the thing in there. It was a very convincing and fucking scary thing, because it's like right there. And I guess we'll get to like the third leg of the plan, which is Steve and the boys and all that stuff.
It wasn't even part of the plan. They kind of made their own thing.
They were on the bench.
Well, before they make the plan, and they're like setting out to do this, we have a Adam and Steve saying like, no, I'm going to keep you safe.
Great.
That's not going to happen. And then fucking Billy rolls up.
I was going to say, like, I thought it might hilariously cut to them like in the car, like directly from that. No means no. Do you understand? Like, let me hear you say you understand. And then it just cuts to them driving. It's like, I told you, no, we can't do that for something like funny. But no, Billy
got fucking real on this guy. Like,
can we
Jesus
talk?
Christ.
Can we talk really quick, because otherwise we're gonna lose it. Is Billy going to Mike's house?
Oh, that was lovely.
That was so lovely. Awesome. When he's all charming the pants off of his mom that had to get out of the tub and stuff. That was fucking everything about that. I loved that so much. Everything about that. Him, like, she's literally like, so like drive slow or like drive safe, and he's like, always or whatever. But like
Sure.
But like we know who he really is, and now we're seeing like what he's able to do to like people
he can turn
to
it
like
up,
manipulate them and all that stuff. And he's got like the shirt because he was like ready to go hit the town. He's got the cologne on, he's got the shirt open, he's got the hair done, and he shows up like I didn't know Nancy had a sister and all that shit, and like plays it off like I can never pull anything like that off. That's fucking amazing to me. This fucking dude. But yeah, shows up and has a nice square off with Steve. Harrington.
And Steve was honestly like, he was doing okay for a little while, but that dish to the face really set off a chain of events that were unkind to his face.
That's how a fight can go, right?
Oh yeah, it can turn on a dime. The moment you lose the advantage, you're dead.
And like him showing up to like, oh god, so like they're squaring off outside, and he's fucking talking to him. That was awesome. When he's like, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies here. Like, because you're lying to me. And he's all like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, well, what's that? And then it cuts to the window, and the kids are like, oh, fuck! Because they're all literally watching like 15, 20 feet away. And you're just like, oh,
honestly,
God,
for that,
kids.
like, if you cut yourself to Billy's side, Billy doesn't know anything supernatural's happening.
Yeah.
Nothing's weird. The only thing he knows is that, like, his sister, in quotes, is here with this grown-ass man.
I know, and that's awesome, because that actually, I don't know even how much, because he might really care about her on some level, but is such a douche. Like,
I think
don't know what we're
even if you
think.
took out the fact, like, cares about her ever so slightly, is his responsibility at the very least, will get in trouble if something bad happens to her. That's enough level of care already. Whether you like a family member or not, if someone fucks with your family, like, you're going to have to fuck them up.
I know. I didn't know if it was that we're meant to take him literally or if this is just his... Because he was, like, threatened or, like, pressured into, like, helping her and, like, the way things go and all that stuff. I don't know if we're meant to take it that there's really some development that he does reluctantly care about her. I didn't get a strong vibe of that.
It wasn't something I even thought about because of the scenario that arose. I was like, I understand your position here.
Yeah. No, and like he has to do what he has to do.
Yes.
So I just
and he doesn't like Steve anyway.
I know.
So any excuse to drop a hammer on somebody.
Yeah. I totally took it at like face value, and a lot of it is more about Steve and Billy's conflict than it is about the kids and all that stuff. But he fucking he picks up Lucas and like pins him to the wall. I was like, holy shit! And we're still not exactly sure why he hates Lucas so much.
Racist.
I mean, had they
what else could it be?
Had they hinted at all at that, I would have been okay with that or something like that. I didn't get any like overt thing about that. He even said that he was at the Sinclair's house, like before coming to and presumably charmed them as well or something like that.
Nope, he beat them up because they were black. He's a racist.
It cuts to just burning crosses on their lawn. It's just
what a racist.
Oh god! But they said you were the happening spot. I don't know. I mean, that's all there could possibly be, but there's really been no strong like thing about that to me.
No, there's not actually.
It's like
any
super
links
implied.
to racism. Just for some reason he hates Lucas.
A lot though, where it's like the only point. I think it might even be racism, but I don't even know why they would have that. But then when Steve first punches him and the kids are cheering and all that stuff, but then Billy kind of just like laughs and like wipes his nose and goes like, "Great, King Steve's here, let's go!" And I was like, "Oh shit, oh shit, fuck."
Now he's clearly the bigger man in this fight. It's weird. Steve's popularity, in my opinion, seemed to be driven mostly by the fact that I think he has money, and like that, like you had two different types of kids in high school.
Yeah.
You had the athlete and you had the rich kid that were like could really rise to popularity easily. And I feel like Steve, not super athletic. While they do show him in athletic positions, that's like 80s. Athletic.
Right, no.
Where I'm like, oh yes, you just were able to move a little.
Like he's on the team. He's wearing the short shorts.
Yes.
He gets whatever position in like society that you get for that. But he's not like Billy's like pumping iron. And he's scrappy from the streets. It's dirty.
My opinion would be that like most of these sports teams in Indiana just aren't very good at basketball, so it's like a bunch of just like clumsy white kids like playing basketball. While Billy's like, I am going to kill you, I am poor, and I am angry.
And it's sort of like meant to be like shocking that like Billy like knocks them down during the game or whatever. You're not seeing that happen the other way.
No.
There was no like back and forth. It was just this strange 38-year-old man's in high school and he's like knocking us down all the time. Like it was very much much that
now,
tone.
when Billy's fucking like got him on his back, he's laid out and he's just teeing off right, left, right, left. I'm like, he's gonna kill him.
Yeah, but luckily Max rises to the occasion.
Max shoots him up with some
Young Max.
magical heroin.
Some of that juice they stole from the hospital to sedate Will.
Yeah,
and I thought that the part of that was going to be that they don't have that if they need it at the cabin, but I guess then that ended up not being like an issue there.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would have brought that, not knowing what was in store for them, but shoots him up, grabs the bat. Swings at his nuts for like effect, and basically says like, and I don't know why he'd feel he was bound by that promise, but he like capitulates and says, all right, I'll leave you alone. I'll like lay off or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And then later he like did, but I'm like, nothing about him makes me think that he would feel like he now has to do what he said to do while he was shot up and on the floor.
And Steve is so in a bad way that the fact that he goes on to do anything worthwhile is almost amazing.
And that, so like,
he's got a concussion, like, for sure.
So like, part of me took that to be like, wow, Steve really rose to the occasion. And part of me was like, I don't know if the makeup department and like the script department were not like talking right or something. Because when he's waking up in the car, I'm like, you are fucked up.
Yeah.
And like,
his face is lumpy and bumpy, and
like the kids put fucking Band-Aids on him and stuff like that.
Yeah, to hold his fucking life together.
But like, yes, like his nose is like broken, and like he probably has some sort of concussion, like legitimately.
Oh, definitely.
If not from the plate, then from like the action on like the ground and stuff. So like, I don't know. I too was shocked, but then once it got rolling, I just ran with it because it just was what it was. But yeah, he was made to look way more fucked up than he appeared once he was running and jumping and swinging and doing all of these things later on.
And like the plate was from the 80s, so like it's
it
not as good a quality, and they're also
plate.
the poorest family in the show, so like they probably were not the highest quality.
It was really just a big graham cracker.
Kinda
knocked him over the thing.
No, it's not the plate that I was worried about. It's those fucking fists, like just wrecking on this dude because he hit him at least 20 times.
Well, he was because he was hitting him. The sound dropped out. Max had to think about it, grab the like thing, and he's just wailing on him the whole time. Yeah, he took a lot of hits.
Whew. No, it was immense. And then all of them go into the hole.
Holy
and I'm like,
shit.
Jesus Christ, is everyone getting into holes? Because like you guys are too short to even get out of the hole. Like what the hell?
Like at all. No, so like we revisit Hop's hole.
Yeah.
Because
they came like unnaturally prepared, I thought, for the situation, but I was glad because I don't want them getting hurt.
Yeah, so like I sort of filled in some of it in my head where like they might have heard, or Hop might have, because they've been hanging out now for like a day or something. So like Hop might have told someone, one of the kids or Joyce or like in front of them somehow, like what happened to you at the hospital? And he was like, oh god, this like thing in the wall fucking because Dustin didn't know what it was. I don't know why they had the bandanas. Maybe they just know from the stories that like it's like toxic there, and they just thought ahead or something. But having goggles made me think that they knew about the like belching wall things that could fuck you up.
Yeah.
Because you don't need those just for like gas fumes or whatever. You might, I was like, gloves and stuff and all that. But the way that they looked was so cool that I forgot about all of that. That was like the epitome of like the Goonies or like the Lost Boys or something like that.
No, I enjoyed the shot. I like
everyone has
spraying that thing down with gas.
They have like different goggles and different bandanas.
Well, because it wouldn't be in unison. It's whatever they have in the house.
And it's but that's so cool. It like looks so good. Like I called out Lucas's like vest and like bandana before. This like very like of the time style and all that shit. Oh god!
But I like how they have every type of he has like a bug sprayer thing. He's spraying it with. One guy's just dumping and splashing gas,
pouring gas.
Yeah, and it happened as the perfect diversion because like right when they were about to really be fucked, they all run away towards them.
Yeah, so it was weird to me almost too because it seemed like. So as I remember it, I tried to write this down, but I'm bad with connecting things because I just take one big long thing of notes. I think he throws the lighter. So like all I saved some things because it all comes together, right? I believe Will's choking his mom, like shit's getting real at the cabin. Hop and 11 are like in the corridor. Hop takes the knife and fucking like looks around the corner because he hears them. They like dogs, and he plants back on the wall and goes like, oh fuck! Like it's like fuck. He's like this is not gonna be good. He like breaks a little, and 11's kind of like oh geez, but he had said before like save your strength, let me take care of shit. But even when he sees what's happening, he's like I gotta take care of shit. Oh shit, they're like blocking the hole. This is like where we have to go. Oh my god, they're like guarding it, right? And then it's like fucking Steve throws the lighter and all that shit, and it all comes together. Hop comes around the corner. Nancy, takes the hot poker. And I told you like earlier, when shit happens together and everything, like the whole plan comes together.
Oh no, it soups you up.
I'm super into it.
Well,
because like, loved it.
You could see that Will was like teeter-tottering, like oh, it's almost too much for me, and then it's like fire, jab with poker.
Because it's like like remotely damaging him. The dog, like the dogs freak out just in time. My only like issue, if you want to call it that, was once the shit is on fire, how are the dogs gonna like put it out? So like, why?
I pictured it would cut to them hurling their bodies onto it.
Something, right?
Because we don't care about the dogs.
Or like spitting something out onto it or something. I thought we'd have some reasoning for why the dogs would have had to all run there. When they're talking about the plan, they go, "We'll light it on fire," and then like they're gonna have to, he's gonna have to send all the dogs away to like stop us or something. So I figured once the gas started hitting it, the dogs would run. But they restructured it a little bit. And I was like, whatever, not a problem.
But I liked how that played out. I loved like when he's like throwing him out of the hole, and it's just him and Dustin, and then like they start running around him. So I get back. I'm like, whoa, that's great.
So yeah, so like
the Gallimimus, they're flocking this way.
Because then Elle's closing it right. Yeah, that was a big fake out. So I thought Steve was gonna like throw Dustin out of the hole and die, right? And then it turned out no one died. I did like the first season of Doctor Who, the everybody lives, Rose, everybody lives, or whatever, because everybody lived. Yeah, it was fucking amazing. We had some predictions. We thought some people might die, but it seemed like no one could die.
I didn't want anyone to die. So
I didn't want anyone to die either. Not. I'm also glad, and my like biggest fear was, it seems like no one can die, so I hope this is not some sort of a letdown without tension or like like hype or whatever the fuck.
I didn't feel that way.
That did not happen at all. No. So we got like all the best of all the worlds.
Yeah.
So Elle seals it shut. Will's fine. What happens? Elle starts like screaming. She's like double nostriled.
It's the first time we've ever seen her.
She goes all out
from both nose holes.
Yeah. She fucking goes all out, and she like rises off the ground. Double nostril, double fist. Feet start to lift off the ground like it's a goddamn anime.
And Hop's like, oh.
He's like, okay, like fuck, kid. All right.
I thought that whole part was great, and then it just seals that fucker up.
And she pushes that like smoky tendril back inside, basically, and then it's all fucking done. It was good times.
Yeah, you can't ask for more.
all the lights around town, whether or not they were plugged into anything, all got brighter, like the energy level.
Yeah,
Goku was firing a spirit bomb all over the planet or something. It was this gigantic thing. And then is that it before the 1 month later?
And then it cuts to 1 month later.
It's 1 month later, Steph.
And I love this because it really put a nice cap on it. And it kind of explained more what I was saying. Where I'm like, I would watch a show with just these characters. Because I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed almost as much as any of the action-filled amazing sequences in the show. I think these characters are so good. I love that, like, Nancy has a heart and she sees Dustin, like, trying and striking out multiple times.
I know.
And, like, helps him out. And the one that he asked out, you can see her looking over like, oh, how did he get that bitch? Maybe she knows something I don't.
That's because, and like, I was.
Everybody wants somebody who's got somebody.
I was almost afraid that like something was gonna happen where like that girl was gonna come back over because she seemed like older and like way too cool to like entertain Dustin. But that look was fucking amazing. Which is like, wait, what? Which is like fucking awesome. I love that shit.
Yes. Yeah. We got our Max and Lucas are together and even get a kiss.
I want to highlight that she had to be the one to kiss him.
Well, he wasn't doing it.
But they have this awesome relationship. Like the whole thing here was structured with like a pregame before the dance, and then like the ending of the dance or whatever. And like Lucas's is like he's in front of the mirror, like so hey, I like this song. Do you? Oh, I'm horrible at this. And going back and forth. And then his sister is like, like you fucking whatever.
I love you too, Lucas.
Yeah. And he's like all pissed off. And then he goes there, and she's like, "Are you asking me to dance, stalker?" And he goes, "No." Like he's still such like a kid. It's so beautiful.
Well, they're very young.
No, yeah, but like certain people on the show have like an unnatural like maturity to them or something. Sure. And Lucas obviously does not. Dustin has a whole thing going on or whatever.
Oh man, Dustin's he's so good. The Farrah Fawcett spray in his hair.
He like
bouffant.
He like gets the hair special. He gets the hairspray special. Uses like way too much, and like Steve drives him to the dance because now they have like I said like this. Like,
I love that.
Older, but it's so good.
It's
so good. And that's where they have that conversation where he's like, "Do not do that. Do not do like the
like
the." because it's not even like it's like with like the throat. It's like the wrong. It's even
the way
wrong.
he does it though is genius.
I know, but it's even like the wrong. It's even the wrong type.
I can't even do it the way he does it.
It's like the Bloodhound Gang song version of it, where it's like that's the wrong way to even make that noise to be sexy, which is bad to do in the first place. It's so like, ugh, it's like gross and all that stuff. Oh, it's amazing.
Those pearly whites.
It's such a great detail. Oh, these pearls, like I got this, like a lion, and he goes, yeah, like a lion. No, you got this, kid. You're awesome. And then he sees Nancy through the window and is like, and like drives off and all that stuff. I'm like, fucking awesome. Jonathan's there taking pictures. What are you gonna say?
Well, I think it's funny that Nancy and Jonathan are even there because, like, I guess they volunteered. His mom is outside, understandably, you don't want your mom chaperoning the thing.
Why are all these characters here? Like, I know, whatever.
So it makes sense that, like, she's like, Jonathan, just volunteer to take pictures. You could be in there, see well. And then some random chick's like, hey, zombie boy, I want to dance. And I'm like, that's kind of vaguely insulting, but she's a girl. Go for it.
I don't know if they set something up that I forgot or if they cut something out.
I've never seen that girl before in my life.
I know, and I feel like maybe she was a girl like randomly in the hall at some point. Like
maybe she was a recurring of some sort.
I really wish there was some setup there. It was fine, and I love Will looking at like Mike and stammering like I can't, and Mike's like no do this or whatever. He goes, oh fuck, and like has to go and goes and dances, and that's all we got from him, and that's fine because his character is a little less developed because he's been possessed or like not there the whole time. But that was perfect too that he like got his.
He got his, and multiple songs happen, and he's still dancing with that girl.
Yeah,
so he got his.
Shit's happening.
And then of course we have Mike sitting on a chair. He's sad, right? Because he's got nothing. And then Hop had dropped off, Millie Bobby Brown to give him a little dancey.
Because when he talks, so like
could I take her for one day?
We segue beautifully because Paul Reiser's like one day. What one day? What do you mean? What's so good about one day?
As he's giving him the adoption papers or what have you, the birth certificate.
And then Hop gives this little look, and then like the music starts to play, and it cuts to like
snowball.
Oh, like not prom, like winter dance or whatever the fuck, because they're such kids. We should highlight that Jane Hopper is like officially born 12 years ago or like whatever the fuck it was because he has a fake birth certificate drawn up, and like that's a fucking slam dunk. Paul Reiser.
So next season she'll probably be in school.
I know. So like that's one of my only other kind of like problems or doubts here is she shows up to the dance and no one even goes like, who's that person? Like that's weird.
I think you could invite dates from other schools. Yeah.
Okay.
And since Nancy, she was the one taking tickets and she wasn't at the door anymore, so you could just walk in.
You could just walk in.
Presumably, yeah.
It didn't like strike me as like a problem with the way the show presented it. But it's like logically it was kind of like, wait a minute, what? You can just show up and that's fine? Because that is super risky. Because it's like, one night of the year, can she go out? Yeah, sure, as long as she's not surrounded by hundreds of people who could like identify her and are like
she's
petty
so
and weird.
unidentifiable from when she first showed up, though. Like it's not the same person.
They're not going to think that it's her from before, but they would be like, who was that? And then when she shows up, next year for school, it'll be like, wait, that's the girl from the dance. What? What's going on?
I came to visit. Fuck you.
I saw her with powers.
But yes, they dance and it's touching.
Oh god, it's so touching.
And there's the kiss between the two of them.
So, like within the span of like 30 seconds, there's so much fucking acting going on. Yeah, fucking like Dustin's like with this big smile. Yeah. And she's like a little closer and goes like, oh my god, like he's so fucking happy. And then Lucas and Max and even Will has got a big smile on his face and he's laughing with the girl who's like, oh, zombie boy or whatever. So much acting, so much goodness. It melted my like heart of like fire and wheels. It just like turned me into this actual human being for like at least 30 seconds. It was amazing.
It's so nice to see these characters who have had such a hard fight of a life to be like, oh, they're kids again for at least another couple minutes before next season starts.
For at least 30 more seconds after that, you'll be a kid.
Do you think predictions for next season?
Well, let's just say, right, the ending of this, which leads into predictions.
Okay.
We literally the world begins to spin.
Yes.
I want to highlight from my like non-existent film school education. It's playing every breath you take. I'll be watching you is like said a million times. The last line before the music finally gets muffled enough to like fade out is can't you see you belong to me?
Yeah.
And then we cut into like the fucking upside down, where by the way, the like lights for like the like Christmas dance thing are also visible in the upside down. We had some questions a long time ago about like well, how soon does the upside down update? If like I like plant a tree, does one start growing there? What are the vines and the walls and how did things happen?
I still think that's going to be a brutally inconsistent thing that we can't really say we've learned anything from.
I know. But of course, we're getting to the giant shadow monster
is right there.
Is looming over the fucking like auditorium, whatever, dance, gym, like gymnasium. He's like right there. He's like watching this happen
he is right
too.
There.
Oh fuck.
Do you think? Because there's a point when they're in the tunnel, and Dustin gets sprayed. He goes, it's in my mouth.
Yeah.
Do you think there's potentially something?
Quite possibly.
Yeah. I'm like, because what could next season be?
So like my theory of like how everything works, my like loosely inarticulated theory of like the rules here. I feel like the shadow, the mind flayer. We should just use the fucking terms or whatever. The mind flayer thing has to have a way of knowing, right? Because he doesn't know where like Will is all the time, right? So something he has to know that he should be there for the dance, right? Is this even like a literal thing, or is it just like was this purely artistic, or does he have some connection to someone, and all the characters are there, so it doesn't matter which one, to someone who's physically there in like the right side up, that he's there, like feeling this, like being drawn to this location.
I almost took it as a completely unrelated thing, just as like a button to be like, ha look at this.
Totally artistic choice.
But it could be something like that. It could be very specific, where it's like, nope, he knows where they are at all times. He's watching. He's like an evil Santa Claus. It's hard to say.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. So like the other theory, right? When that like wraith like jumped out of the cabin and like broke the door or whatever, it could have gone into anyone. And again, all the characters are at that location.
Yeah.
So if the Mind Flayer has still has some sort of foothold, still has a toe in the door of like the real world, it could be anyone, it could be anything, it could be anything to do with that whole thing.
Yeah.
It could be 11, it could be Dustin because he got like shat on, it could be Will because maybe Will is just fucking cursed and like downtrodden, and like no matter what they do, he still has a little something going on, right?
Yeah, it's rough.
Because he was like taking his like brief trips to the Upside Down in the first 4 episodes before, like after he coughed up the slug and before those tentacles got him in like the field. So
yes, there's something about him.
Even if we've returned to like the status quo, his original trip in like season 1 has left him changed or whatever. I want him to be like a local superhero named Zombie Boy that has powers somehow or whatever the fuck. I doubt that'll happen.
Can't wait. It's going to be like a full year before we have the next fucking season.
Do they have any sort of dates or projections?
I would imagine it's probably going to be around October next year.
Okay.
It's purely, speculation. No one said anything to me, but it makes sense. It's a good
Halloween
time for things to come out. Yeah, exactly.
I hope it's only 1 year away. I feel like this is a big production
I think they
show.
Do have to rush things because the kids are getting older.
That's fucking great too, honestly. And I feel like if the 4-season thing is like where it's at, and they just literally calmly bring the show to a close after 4 seasons and move on to like a different story, I'll be super happy with that. I like where everything's going. Matt Modine, Kali is still out there. Things are happening. Her mother is out there, although she's not doing well.
Although she's in a vegetative state.
She has powers and has whatever like abilities. There's a bunch of other numbers between 8 and 11 and, infinity that there could be. Yeah. There's a bunch of things happening.
Presumably there was not one after her from that facility, but there could be a whole slew of numbers from other facilities.
Yeah, I'm just joking that, like,
I can't imagine Indiana's the only place where we do weird experiments.
Yeah, I wonder if we leave Indiana.
Although it is eerie.
It could go in so many different directions, but I love the idea that they've like reminded you, here's all these characters, here's how they're interrelated, here's a peek at like, right, because she'll be in school, she'll be Hop's real daughter, we leave Joyce and Hop like, in each other's arms and all that stuff, so I feel like something will be up with that. Yeah. Maybe they'll be, they'd be step-siblings? That's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
You could do whatever you want to do.
They're not even really related.
Well, that's not Mike. That's Will and her would be step-siblings or whatever. But like,
that's true.
It's still a little awkward where it's like, oh, hi, we're hanging out.
Yeah, for some reason I was inserting Mike.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nah, it's fine. It's all good. If anything, that makes it cooler.
It's the hairdos.
Yeah.
No, and we'll have a whole fucking group of kids, right? We'll have Max now, free of Billy's.
Yeah, and potentially more new kids next year. Who knows?
Oh my God, more new kids on the block. I can't do that. Any other thoughts or predictions?
I think I am solid on the prediction front in that I'm okay with anything, and I don't have anything concrete to lead off of. I'm eagerly awaiting anything that may throw at us, and I think this show can do no harm, and whatever they want to go with, I fully support it.
I'll say Nancy. I'm really glad Barb got closure.
Sure.
I really like Jonathan and Nancy actually staying together. And because I was afraid something might happen at the cabin or something might happen with Steve, and now it's like, oh, never mind again or something. But they like committed to it, and I like that because they made a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
I loved Murray in like the lawn chair waving at the military that have to leave town now, and then like flipping them off, and him being like, fuck you, fuck the man. And I think actually Max is really great. I like her as a new
she's a good character, yeah.
And she's a great screamer. We haven't been highlighting this. But in the car, when they hit the hay bale, and when the demi dog was up on top of the bus, she has a great scream,
pipes.
Which you need or whatever the fuck, because this is the kind of show that's going to come up.
Yeah, screams will be used.
Yeah. All right,
guys. So let us know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. Don't die in a fire, and we will see you next time.